Yes, here we are as ever. Good evening. Hope you had a good day. Thank you for joining us. Now, coming up on Thursday's Look North, almost 200 people are being treated for flu in our local hospitals.
He was that poorly, he was crying because he had flu.
Chest infections, coughs, colds, mainly the cough, because the cough goes on and on and on for days.
Ruined Christmas completely. I've never had a flu jab before, but I'll be getting one next.
Yeah, look at these pictures. Youths try and break into a garden in Hessel. Local people say that they've had enough. Just look at that. We're going to be talking about antisocial behaviours. This sort of behaviour, do you see this where you live? What would you do if you did see it? That caught on a camera, of course. Is there a simple answer to deal with antisocial behaviour? What's it like where you are, and why is it? Or is it getting worse, or is it some of our imaginations? Antisocial behaviour and that full story coming up in just a bit. The email address is there, looknorth@bbc.co.uk. I'll get it straight away. Follow me on Twitter, tweet me now, or text 81333, 81333. Start the text with the word Look North. We'll have some at the end of the programme and some tomorrow night, all evening to right. Also on the programme tonight, a council is giving air fryers to pensioners. So how are older people in Brigg getting to grips with them?
I've tried gammon and fish and chips, fritters.
Chicken thighs in it, and I coated it with sweet chilli sauce, and it was scrumptious.
Air fryer news, and also a very difficult junction ahead for...
well, you should move on from your microwave meals. How about that? Get yourself an air fryer. Anyway, I'll be back with more air fryer news and a full forecast in 15 minutes.
Almost 200 people in hospital with flu in East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire this week. The figures from NHS England released today show that although the overall rate of flu is falling, it's still high, putting extra pressure on already stretched health services across the region. Doctors told us today that they're as busy as ever, and one local pharmacy said that the demand for over-the-counter medicines is constant. Natalie Bell has this report.
Once again, hospitals across the country have been struggling due to rising numbers of admissions for winter viruses like the flu. Last week was the busiest yet for the health service, with more hospital beds being occupied than at any point so far this winter. And while figures today show there may be some signs of hospital flu cases coming down, they're still under enormous pressure. People I spoke to outside Hull Royal Infirmary today painted a busy picture.
It's really bad this year. My relation came into A&E on Monday, and I will say, yes, she was on a trolley in a corridor, but she moved through A&E really quickly. And then on the night time when I came back, the corridor was even fuller and fuller and fuller.
I was poorly over Christmas with the flu, and I think it's the first time I've ever had it, because I've had it described to me as unforgettable, and I genuinely was. Ruined Christmas completely, and I still don't feel fully right now, so it's just like 3 weeks later.
Yeah, my dad, it started off last Saturday, but it's 81 nearly. So obviously, at first it was pneumonia, so he got rushing on Sunday. So I said, I've just been to see him now, but his chest is not good, but they won't release him until obviously it's all clear. So he's been on the nebulizer.
Our daughter's a nurse in Cumbria Hospital, and she's got it. She just says that, you know, they've closed a lot of the wards to visitors because it just spread so quickly.
Yeah, been really busy. Yeah, we happen to wear masks at the moment, so to cover our patients and that.
Chemists have also been busier than normal, helping treat people who have the flu but don't require hospital treatment. Denise Fraser manages the pharmacy opposite Hull Royal Infirmary.
Well, we've had people in every day in tribes, all coming in for all the cough medicines, for pharmacy first, which is where they need antibiotics if needed. We've had to do minor ailments, and the main thing is they couldn't get to see a GP, or the hospitals were really busy because they're absolutely full of all these different viruses.
While figures released today show that the number of patients in hospital with flu has dropped for the first time this winter, nurses finishing their shifts in Hull today told me there's still numerous beds taken up by people with the flu behind these hospital walls, and it's an issue that's not going away just yet. Natalie Bell, BBC Look North, Hull.
Yeah, there's been 200 people in East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire in hospital with flu this week, and the regional director for the Royal College of Nursing says more needs to be done to stop what she calls corridor care. The RCN has collected evidence from more than 5,000 nurses, including in East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire. The RCN says that they are increasingly concerned at the high numbers of patients being treated in hospital corridors or cupboards because there aren't enough free beds.
Corridors are not an acceptable place to provide care, but it's not just corridors, it's in cupboards, it's in wards where they're cramming in more beds just to make sure that these patients can be looked after. And the book seems to stop with the hospitals, but in reality, it's due to years and years of underfunding and poor patient flow through hospitals because social care is underfunded and there just hasn't been the investment into community nursing and into social care.
Yeah, that report from the RCN out today, and the General Secretary says that care was being delivered in abhorrent and totally unacceptable ways. But today, the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, says he agreed the problem should not be tolerated, but laid the blame on the previous government. We'll follow that story, of course. 3 hooded youths vandalising a garden at night. The latest pictures from doorbell cameras catching antisocial behaviour on an estate in Hessel. Neighbours told us it happens all the time. The house owner says he's had enough. Philip Norton went to meet him.
The moment Yobs tried to pull down a homeowner's fence in Hessel on Monday. After running away, they later came back for more.
Having a right good go for the second time. This time they get it down. 3 of them there did it, 2 ran off, he stayed, and then he comes back and steals the camera, as you'll see in a minute.
How does it make you feel when you're watching this back?
Makes you feel sick. There's the wire still there, and that's where it was bolted to at the top, on that purse, and he jumped up to get it.
Neil says it's the latest act of antisocial behaviour where he lives, and he's had enough.
A lot of people are angry about it, a lot of people want to know why. It's the same question. Why? Why do they want to do it? Why do they want to come down to 10 foot in the middle of the night and pull somebody's fence down? What are they actually getting out of it? Nothing. Just, I don't know. Baffles me. I'd like to know who they are. I'd like to speak to the parents and ask them, you know what I mean, and try and get some common sense out of it, because it's just, why? That's what everybody's asking on the Facebook page. Why have they done it? Why do they feel the need to do it? And that's the question I want to ask. Why?
Humberside Police says it's reviewed CCTV footage and carried out house-to-house inquiries as its investigation continues.
There is a lot of antisocial behaviour going on down this area at the moment in town, but hopefully it's dealt with shortly. The local councillors and things like that are onto it. We've had CCTV put up onto the lamppost. Hopefully, you know, when this report goes in, you know, they might take some notice this time.
For now, it's a bill for hundreds of pounds to replace the broken fence. Philip Norton, BBC Look North, Hessel.
Unbelievable. And Neil just sums the whole thing up there. Why? What are they getting out of it? And just been reading this just in from David. He says the rise in antisocial behaviour is not helped by the fact that the government and the police have virtually decriminalised antisocial behaviour, and the perpetrators do not get properly punished. Well, what's it like near where you are? Maybe you've got antisocial behaviour. Is there a simple answer? Here's how to get in touch on this one. Love your stories. What's it like where you live? How do we stop this? Well, antisocial behaviour is the posh way of putting it. Most people would just say mindless vandalism. As Neil said, you know, what are they getting out of it? Heaven only knows. The email address is there, looknorth@bbc.co.uk. Follow me on Twitter, tweet me now, and text 81333. Start the text with the word Look North. What's it like near where you are, and what examples have you got? Let me know. As I say, we'll have some at the end of the programme and some more tomorrow night. You've got all evening to write. A man has died 2 weeks after his bike was hit by a van in Hull. The 74-year-old man was injured following the crash at Mount Pleasant on December the 30th. Police say he died on Monday and they're appealing for witnesses to come forward. A police drone has been used to search woodland near Gainsborough for a missing woman. Officers say they're concerned about the welfare of 54-year-old Penny, who was last seen in East Ferry on Tuesday. They say she has a distinctive red Audi TT car. A lot of interest in that story, of course. If there are any developments, we'll let you know. More than 1,300 fines were issued last year to drivers parked illegally outside of schools. 12 schools signed up to the plan by North East Lincolnshire Council to put CCTV cameras outside the school gates. The aim is to help change behaviour long term and ensure that children are arriving and leaving schools safely. An American veteran who dropped soldiers from Lincolnshire behind enemy lines prior to the D-Day landings has died at the age of 102. As a 21-year-old, David Hamilton flew a series of dangerous missions into France. He was a guest of honour at a ceremony at the former RAF North Witham in 2019. To get under Grantham's railway arches, you only need to know two things. How high is 15 feet and is your truck lower than that? But so many drivers are getting wedged that rail engineers are now putting up sensors to speed up how long it takes to inspect the damaged bridge. Yet some say the only answer is to stop the trucks. Sarah May Bachiri has been to find out more.
Network Rail says this bridge is among the top 5 most hit by lorries in Britain. It was hit 14 times in the last 12 months. But it doesn't end there. There were 5 strikes at this bridge on Barby Road last year. And this one on Springfield Road also isn't immune. It's been hit 3 times in recent years. So there's 3 bridges, all in Grantham, all been hit. What's going on?
Right now you can see the lorry coming through here and how close it is to the arch. This bridge was built in the Victorian era. So as people are trying to get from one side or the other through Grantham, this is one of their only routes. We're focusing on being better at the recovery element of bridge strikes. So we've got new emerging technology, which is going to be monitors, and that gives data to the people that have to recover or assure the safety of this asset. They can do it in seconds rather than having to take nearly hours to get to the structure.
But not everyone thinks new tech is the way forward. County Councillor and road boss Richard Davies says lorries should be diverted out of Grantham entirely.
So we need to be stopping them at the first opportunity, which is on that A1 junction. And we've been saying for years to Network Rail and National Highways, it's their bit of road. You really need to get this sorted, sit down, make it happen. Because every time somebody does hit this bridge, it costs hundreds of thousands of pounds. And ultimately, it's you and me, the taxpayer, that's bailing that out.
Some people might just say, look, lorries probably shouldn't be going under it full stop.
So we do have to get HGVs from one side of Grantham to the other and across the country. That's how the infrastructure works. But we do have to try and get them through effectively.
So for now, it's hoped sensors and cameras will speed up the aftermath of a hit rather than prevent it. Sarah May Bachiri, BBC Look North, Grantham.
Don't forget, I've got a story that you think we should be putting on the programme next week, the weeks to come, then get in touch. Thank you for watching this Thursday night. Tonight's photograph, the sunrise at Cleethorpes. Here it is, and it was taken by Helen Foreman. Helen, thank you very much indeed for that. Now, we should spare a thought for Southend football fans. They travelled all the way to Boston from Essex last night, and 6 minutes into the game, this happened. Radio Lincolnshire's Rob Makepeace and Michael Horton take up the commentary.
And it's gone into the fog, and I haven't got a clue where it is. There's a few players running around. I have got no idea where the ball is at the moment. 2 sets of players are coming out just to applaud the supporters for turning up this evening to see just 6 minutes of football. Another twist in the National League season for Boston United.
That's amazing.
Long way to travel, isn't it, to get 6 minutes of the game?
They should have listened to my forecast, Peter.
No, because I think it went wrong yesterday, didn't it?
I don't think it did in Boston. It was foggy all day.
Oh, all right. Well, no, don't be touchy. Don't be touchy.
I just like to get. We don't do fake news on this programme.
No,
just clarifying that.
I'm just reminding you of the message that you sent to me in the middle of the afternoon. Is it foggy in Hull? Is that true or not?
Well, sort of.
It's true. I wouldn't make it up.
All right. Would you like the forecast?
Yes,
let's have a look at the headline for the next 24 hours. So we've got fog in the forecast, a little bit of sunshine as well, but hopefully where the fog forms and is at the moment will be better. It's going to clear more readily than it has done today. So high pressure in charge, usual story. It's quite chilly air over the weekend, but at least that high pressure is keeping these weather systems well to the west. So the dry story continues, but we are prone to mist and fog this weekend. Some places might stay grey and misty, but the detail will firm up on in the next sort of 24 hours. It's always difficult working out where it's going to be foggy or not, but you can see very clearly on the satellite picture, it's once again been areas to the east and south of Lincoln that's been foggy. If you've been on the Lincoln Ridge, you look west, it's been sunny. You look east, it's been foggy. But to the north of here, it's been absolutely glorious. So it's certainly clear across northern Lincolnshire and East Yorkshire at the moment. But look, that fog bank and low cloud, it eventually moves northwards and envelops all of us. So I think whichever way you look at it, it's grey and misty by dawn tomorrow morning, and a ground frost could come to 2 or 3 Celsius the low. So tomorrow's high water times, there we are, Hull Victoria Dock, 8:30. And again at 8:29. So it looks quite grey at first with that mist and fog. A little bit more of a breeze picking up. It should help lift and break the fog up. So although there'll be quite a lot of cloud at times, there should be some bright or sunny intervals, especially across parts of East Yorkshire. Temperatures coming in at 7 or 8 degrees. Over the weekend then it's dry and chilly. A risk of persistent mist and fog. But there'll be some bright or sun intervals too. Look at these temperatures, but they do recover early next week. Peter, that's the forecast.
Yeah, Gary emailed me in. He's looking for a TV, went on Marketplace online, and he found this. And there it is for sale. It's a 32-inch in Skegness, and it's on sale for £35.
That's a bargain.
I think the only reason he wants to sell it is because you're on it. Have a nice evening.
Let's have a look. Is there any fog on that screen?
There's no fog on that screen.
No. Right, okay. Well, that's a relief.
It was taken on a day when they got an accurate forecast. Take care. See you tomorrow.
See you later.
Now, a high-tech sail being assembled in Hull could soon be fitted to thousands of commercial ships. Developers say that the air wing can cut a vessel's fuel consumption by up to 30% and produce 10 times the thrust of a conventional sail. The air wing has had £3.7 million of backing after winning a UK government competition aimed at cutting carbon emissions. More from our environment correspondent Paul Murphy.
You'll have guessed that this is no ordinary sail. It's uniquely designed to suck in air and boost it with powerful fans. Developers say it can reduce a ship's fuel consumption by up to 30%. The prototype is being built here on Hull docks.
Yeah, we're all really excited. It's only a few weeks away, the actual sea trials process, so there's real industry backing, both private investment but also in terms of ship owners that are interested in this technology.
The project's been awarded £3.5 million of government funding, part of a bigger scheme to help the shipping industry reduce its emissions. And the Maritime Minister was keen to experience the power of the special sail.
This is a fantastic project. GT Wings are using innovative technology often seen on aircraft. Maritime is one of the hardest areas to decarbonise, and that's why I'm here today to say it can be done.
Across the world, the shipping industry accounts for around 2% of harmful CO2 emissions.
It's believed there are up to 40,000 vessels across the globe that could be retrofitted with this sail technology. It has the potential to make a huge impact on global carbon emissions.
For the Hull-based company chosen to build the air wing, there's an enormous sense of pride.
All credit to our workforce for sure, all local, all experience. You know, we really do need to keep this trend going, and we now are training younger people to come into shipbuilding and ship repairing, which has been a dying industry for many years.
The air wing will be fitted to a ship and tested in the weeks ahead. These sea trials will be closely watched by an industry trying to reduce its impact on the planet. Paul Murphy, BBC Look North, Hull.
Yeah, pioneering work going on at Hull docks at the moment to cut carbon emissions. Now, last night we were talking about car parking, one particular car park used by 2 businesses, and parking charges and fines. Thanks for the response. There was a lot last night, I have to say. Just a few. First of all, Michelle said, I've received an unfair parking charge for parking in Iceland at Grimsby. I did pay for parking, but accidentally put in the wrong registration. I've been charged £100 for this mistake. Jeff says, I was a taxi driver in Lincoln. I received a parking ticket while waiting to pick a passenger up. They're still chasing me for £170. This was in a train station car park. Unbelievable. And this one's anonymous. I work in a supermarket and I see people parking, getting out of their cars and walking into Skegness. Our car park has a 3-hour limit. It's not right and unfair for our customers and staff as they take up spaces for our real customers. As I say, there's a huge response. And I have to say, even while we've been on the air tonight, I've had another 3 talking about parking, and we talked about it 24 hours ago. So thank you for those. I'm sure it's a subject that we will return to at a later date. Now, if you were a chef and you had worked with Gordon Ramsay and Jamie Oliver, you might think that you'd won at life. But Emma, who we're about to see in a moment, ended up homeless when things went wrong. Now, thanks to a charity in Hull, she's rebuilding her life, as Shirley Henry found out.
You're cold, you're hungry, you're tired, you're in pain, and then on top of that, you've got the public treating you like you're dirt. We're not seen as human beings. You're an addict. Go get a job. I had one. Sort yourself out. I was sorted. But that was what life did. And it can happen to anyone. I'm a qualified chef and I've been working in restaurants for the past 25 years. I've worked with Gordon Ramsay doing events. And I was in the NEC, cooking with Jamie Oliver.
Emma was a functioning alcoholic, but her mum died, and during the pandemic, she lost her income and her home. Within months, she relapsed.
I couldn't go a couple of hours without having to have at least a litre of cider or something stronger. It was demoralising. I'd gone from having everything to being the person that people walked past and spat at me. You know, once upon a time I would have been their boss, but not anymore.
The charity Emmaus provided Emma with a home and the support she needed to get back on her feet. But now the charity says it's full and under pressure.
Homelessness in Hull, you only have to walk in the town centre and you can see how bad it is at the moment.
We are full to capacity. There's a significant demand and we are under strain in that regard. There's more people homeless than houses available at present, and that's a problem that needs to be addressed.
Emma's one of the lucky ones, and she's grateful for the support from Emmaus.
I've just got my year's sobriety. I'm here, I'm able to function. I needed stability. Emmaus gave me that. It's given me a home, it's given me hope again, and right now I'm starting to be able to look at a future.
That was Emma speaking to Shirley Henry. Well, Hull City Council says it takes responsibility to support those who are homeless or sleeping rough very seriously, and says that national factors like increases to private rents, mortgages and the cost of living mean that Hull has experienced an unprecedented increase in homelessness. It says it's working hard to provide housing solutions. Now, if they got one, I want one. That was the cry that went up when we reported that North Lincolnshire Council was handing out thousands of free air fryers to pensioners. They stepped in to help after winter fuel payments were stopped, of course. Well, 1,000 air fryers have already been delivered and thousands more are coming. Simon Spark asked people at Brigg Market if they'd got one.
Air fryers seem to be the biggest thing since the microwave, and in North Lincolnshire, pensioners are getting free ones from the council.
Everybody who is of pension age, their household will be eligible.
So on Market Day in Brigg, we thought we'd see if we could, first of all, find those who've received one, and secondly, See if it's £500,000 well spent. Margaret got one.
I'm still practicing, but I love it. And the first thing I did was chicken thighs in it, and I coated it with sweet chilli sauce, and it was scrumptious. And the skin was so crispy.
I wouldn't know how to switch the blade around, but...
Well, I've got mine yet.
I've got one.
Well, have you got one from the council?
Yeah.
Oh, and so what do you think about it?
I don't know, I haven't used it.
I had one presented to me by Mr. Waltham. He came along just prior to Christmas, and yeah, it's all right.
What have you tried in it, and what's...
I've tried gammon and fish and chips, fritters.
What sort of things do you think you'd want to cook in one?
I'd have to have a cookery book as well. I have no idea. My daughter's the one to ask about air fryers. She swears by hers.
The first time I've ever had anything given. Yeah.
What are you going to use it for then? What you want to try in it?
Well, I'm going to try, they say roast potatoes are nice in it, and they say chicken's nice in it. I'm going to do all sorts in it.
But will she do my air fryer favourite?
Now I've found donuts tend not to stay too fresh, particularly when bought at half price. Put them in the air fryer and you'll find they come out like they've just been baked.
Probably not the best use of an air fryer, but trust me, it's a winner. Simon Spark, BBC Look North, Brig.
There we are, the air fryers, and got a special little birthday to do. Rhoda, who I know is watching and tuned in, she's in the Westerly Care Home in Woodhall Spa, and Rhoda is 103 today. Rhoda, lots of love, best wishes from all of the gang there at the care home, and a very happy birthday from me. Now let's have a reminder of our main story tonight. Almost 200 people are being treated for flu in our local hospitals. Tomorrow's weather, plenty of cloud cover, just the rare bright break. It's going to be mild, top temperatures getting up to 8 Celsius. 8 is 46 Fahrenheit. Now, we saw that antisocial behaviour in Hessel at the start of the programme, and there's a big response on how we deal with it, so thank you for all of these. Tony says, antisocial behaviour has been a problem throughout history. We must challenge it through the police and appropriate punishments. Jacob says, antisocial behaviour has become a major problem in Willoughby, with large gangs of girls and boys attacking properties and threatening people at night. Some of them wear creepy Halloween masks to frighten elderly people. Neil says, I confront them, Peter. I always have and I always will. Jane says, when are we going to wise up and get back to making parents responsible for their children's actions? Enough of this pussyfooting around, says Jane. And finally, this from Pat, who says, if the thugs shown on your programme tonight were trying to bring my fence down, I would turn a hose pipe on them. Of course, something that we do not condone here. Thank you for those. We'll have some more tomorrow. And for watching, have a nice evening. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.